Hey guys, it's Drea. Today I have a video inspired by the lovely Georgia Harris. She did a video, or a couple of these actually, but she did the first one a while back, and I was just so inspired. I was like, you know, sometimes I need to check myself and not buy every single thing I want. So she did a video called Things I Really Want But I'm Not Gonna Buy, or something to that nature. I am definitely gonna link her video in her channel below, so go check her out, and that video was fantastic. So this is some of the current makeup that I really want and I'm not gonna buy. And I don't mean this as an anti-haul, like you shouldn't buy it, or here are the reasons, or it's just a neutral palette, blah, blah, blah. This is stuff that I actually really want, but I'm not gonna let myself buy it. I think this is brilliant. Some of us shop too much. Some of you are a lot smarter than me and don't shop as much as me, but I need to definitely check myself. So I have 5 things here that I really want, and I'm not gonna buy them. The first one is the Naked Skin Foundation. I wanna say this is their most classic foundation. You know the one that's been around forever. This is currently on the weekly wow at Sephora Canada, at least. I don't know if it's in the States right now, but currently as we speak, probably not when this video goes up, but right at this moment, it is on sale for 25 bucks, which is half off. And there's a 20% coupon going around, which would make it 20 bucks. I actually was gonna put this in my cart, and I almost checked out with this yesterday, even before the 20% off. And I was like, I want this. It's gonna be great for when I do Instagram tutorials, and it's gonna be so pretty, and it is a really pretty foundation on the skin. I've tried it. I've actually owned this before, and I decluttered it. And the reason I decluttered it is because it doesn't last on my oily skin. It does not last at all. I can wear it in videos, I can wear it in tutorials, but I can't wear it in real life. It'll just break down on my skin. It's a beautiful, natural looking, like skin-like finish, hydrating type foundation that doesn't work for me. But because it's suddenly on sale, suddenly it becomes so appealing. So I'm not gonna let myself purchase this. I'm not gonna give in to the sale. I'm not gonna do it. Just because something goes on sale doesn't mean you're saving money. It a lot of the time means you're spending money. So I'm not going to buy the Naked Skin Foundation. The next thing I'm not gonna buy is the Just My Luck palette from Colourpop. This palette is so pretty. I'm actually wearing the It's My Pleasure palette today on my eyes, which I just recorded a tutorial for. And it's beautiful. It's purple. I love purple. I wear purple all the time. I have green eyes. Purple brings out my green eyes. Green does not bring out my green eyes. And I don't have a lot of green eyeshadows. The green eyeshadows that I do have are ones that I love. I have the green brown palette from Natasha Denona that has some gorgeous green lid shades in it. I have some singles from Colourpop in greens. I have my beloved Lise Wachee Ver Enchant that is gorgeous. And these things don't even see enough use for me, all these green shadows. And so why do I want this Just My Luck palette? I'll tell you why. Number one is because it really speaks to the Irish component, which is definitely a daily part of my life. And also, I feel like I'm not a completionist when it comes to Colourpop palettes, but they're so affordable that it's always kind of like, well, why not? I'll just add this one, I'll add this one. Like, they're so cheap. Why not just pick up a $12 palette here, a $20 palette here? Like, they're so affordable. And they are so good. The quality is great, the finishes are great, they last all day on my eyes. I have not ever had a complaint about a Colourpop pressed eyeshadow palette or single. But I just know I'm not gonna use this. Like, it's so pretty, it's all these greens, but I'm just not gonna get a lot of use out of it, and it's gonna make me feel guilty that I'm not using it, and also not using my other green shadows that I love. So I'm not gonna buy this. Okay, the next thing I'm not gonna buy is the Jessica Rabbit palette and the associated accoutrements like the highlighter and the glitter lipstick that Ciate has released. When I first saw the promo video for this on Instagram, I was like, give it to me. I need this. I need all the Jessica Rabbit. It's so sultry and sexy and bombshell, which, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, that's how I identify. Like, I just want to be the bombshell all the time. I don't think I am, but I want to be. And so when I see Jessica Rabbit, you know, strutting around being like all sexified, I'm like, yes, that's what I want to be. So when I saw this promo video, I was like, that is gorgeous. And you know, it's a close-up of Jessica Rabbit's face on the palette. It's so pretty. The highlighter has it like pressed into the powder. But realistically, I don't really use a lot of Ciate eyeshadows. I think I decluttered the ones that I did have. Not because they were terrible, but they weren't my favorite. And no color in this palette speaks to me, really. The color story doesn't really speak to me. I have enough glitter shadows in my life. I don't need this. This is all about the packaging and the feeling associated with it that is selling it. And, you know, that's why companies collaborate and they slap things, like they slap things. They slap her face on the palette. Or like a good example also is the Mickey and Minnie stuff from Dose of Colors. I'm not particularly attracted to that, but those of you who love Disney, and I know there are a ton of you, might be. But just because there's a Minnie Mouse palette doesn't mean that you need it. And same with me, just because there's a Jessica Rabbit palette doesn't mean that I need it. The next thing is something I want so badly. I want this, like I haven't wanted an eyeshadow palette in a long time. Okay, it's the Tarte High Tides and Good Vibes eyeshadow palette. It's the Sea Turtle one. When I first saw this palette, I didn't even know the cover had a sea turtle on it. I just saw the palette and I was like, ah, Tarte's just doing its Tarte thing. And then I saw swatches of it and the swatches blew me away. Those 4 pressed glitter shades, I think they are, in the middle look so gorgeous in swatches. I was like, OMG, this is beautiful. And then it turned out it had a sea turtle on the front, and if you know me, I am obsessed with turtles in general. I love all kinds of turtles, but I especially love sea turtles. There's something about them, I don't know what it is. I just think they're the most gentle, beautiful creatures swimming around in the ocean, and my husband is in the middle of painting me a sea turtle painting, like a huge, like I think it's 6 by 8 feet. Anyways, I am obsessed with sea turtles. I have them everywhere and I love them. And so when I saw the cover had the sea turtle thing going on, I was like, of course I'm getting this. And even it got to the point where Tarte was having a 20% off sale, and I had it in my cart at 20% off and it was free shipping, and I got all the way to the end and I was like, wait a second, do I need this? Like, I didn't even ask myself if I needed it until I was almost pressing order now, you know? Like, do you ever do that? We get so caught up in the hype of something or the packaging of something or whatever, the fear of missing out, the fear of it selling out, that I just go and I don't even ask myself, do I need this? Do I want it? So when I finally got to the end of the cart, I was like, wait a second, hold on. Do I need this? No, I definitely don't need any makeup. Do I want this? I want it, but probably not for the reasons that I would use it again. So it's again for the packaging, those glitter shades. The glitter shades, as gorgeous as they are, I'm not gonna wear in my daily life. You know, I do wear glitter a lot, even to work sometimes, but those, like that bright greenish blue glitter in that palette, even as beautiful as it is, it's probably gonna get used once a year, you know, realistically. So I ultimately talked myself out of the palette. Maybe another turtle thing will come along someday and I'll get it, but for now, I actually talked myself down off buying that palette, and I'm actually really proud of myself because I really want it. Okay, and the very last thing that I currently want but I am not going to buy is the Anastasia Riviera palette. I will be completely transparent, even though I made my limited edition tag and I talked about, you know, using limited edition products more on my channel, still when something is limited edition, it makes me not want to purchase it as much as something that would be permanent. There's still that roadblock in my head that I'm like, why do I want this limited edition thing? The hype is gonna die down, people aren't gonna want it anymore, people aren't gonna use it, people aren't gonna care if I use it, and so I'm not going to be able to use it after a certain point. So I thought it was a permanent palette. When I saw it was limited edition, that really kind of put the kibosh on my want for it. But still, I really like the color story. The thing that really, okay, there's 2 shades in there that I really want and are drawing me to it, which are the Inheritance shade, which is the yellow shade, and this shade called Seaside, which is, it looks like a silvery lilac. Like, it looks more silver than lilac, but it has just enough of that lilac-iness to it that it's a little bit unique, more unique than just your straight up silver would be. Those 2 shades are really the only 2 shades in that palette that are making me want it. I have a bright pink, like the Colourpop Ooh La La palette. I just used that the other day. It has the most intense matte pinks in it. I have purples all over, you guys know that, you know, and everything else in that palette is something that I don't really care about. So I really just want those 2 shades. So why would I buy an entire palette just because I want 2 shades out of it? So I am on the hunt for dupes, especially of Inheritance. I think that is such a pretty shade. It is yellow and not necessarily gold. So it's a yellowy gold, not a goldy yellow, if that makes sense. And I love the idea of a yellow satin, or like a yellow metallic even, all over the lid in the spring and summertime. But if I can find a dupe for that yellow shade, and if I can find even something similar to that Seaside shade that just like satisfies that urge, I'm gonna be fine. I don't need this entire palette. So I am not gonna let myself buy it, even as pretty as it looks. And I've seen a lot of you like on Instagram that I follow doing beautiful looks with it. I've seen a lot of people just in general on Instagram doing beautiful looks with it. It's a gorgeous palette, but I'm not gonna buy it. And also, if you have not seen it, Samantha Ravindal did an amazing video. So unique. I don't know why nobody has thought about this before, and if anybody has, I'd love to know who, because I think it's brilliant. But she basically shopped her stash for dupes of those shades in that palette, which people do all the time, but then she created 3 looks with it. So instead of going out and purchasing the palette, doing 3 looks for her subscribers, she just basically found similar shades and did 3 looks for her subscribers. And I thought it was brilliant. I was like, that is what we should be doing more of on YouTube, you know? So if you haven't seen that video and you haven't subscribed to Samantha yet, I would highly recommend it. There's something about the way she does eyeshadow tutorials in particular that I find so mesmerizing. She's such a good teacher, and just the way she puts looks together, I just will sit there and just like zone out watching her do it. So anyways, go check her out. That's it for all the things that I really want, but I'm not gonna buy. Again, go check out Georgia's channel. She is definitely the inspiration for this, and I had so much fun doing it. I'm really glad that I did this, because often when I talk to you guys about makeup, it dims down the urge for it. I think if you don't have somebody in your life that you can talk to about makeup, come talk to me about it. Leave me comments, converse with me on Instagram. I'm always open to talking about it, because I think just getting it out of our system sometimes is enough to get the hype out of the way. And then those things that have the hype pushed away, and the things that are left behind that you still have a want and desire for, I think are the things that you actually really want, and you shouldn't feel like bad about wanting and purchasing. But sometimes we just need to get the hype out of our lives and all the chatter and all the noise, and silence it a little bit. So this, I think, was a little bit of therapy. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And if you're new here, definitely subscribe. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope that you're speaking kindly to yourself, especially when you look in the mirror. I love you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Good talk. Bye.